It was supposed to be a normal morning. Ryan Reynolds, beloved actor and self-proclaimed coffee enthusiast, was running late for a meeting about a potential new film, something about space pirates and emotional depth. Classic Hollywood nonsense. But first, coffee. Ryan strolled into his favorite coffee shop, a small but fancy place called Perfection. The barista, a college student with an existential crisis written all over his face, greeted him with a deadpan, "Morning. Usual?" "Yep. One ridiculously overpriced, overly complicated oat milk foam art masterpiece, please," Ryan replied. But today was different. The shop had a new barista in training, a young man named Todd, whose enthusiasm was dangerously unmatched by his skill level. Todd, desperate to impress, decided that today was the day he would create the best latte art the world had ever seen. What Ryan didn't realize was that this seemingly simple coffee order would set off a chain of events that would soon spiral into chaos. The espresso incident. Todd, trembling with excitement, attempted to pour the oat milk, but miscalculated. The milk pitcher slipped from his grip, sending a stream of frothy liquid soaring through the air like a dairy-fueled missile. It landed directly on Ryan's pristine white t-shirt, transforming him into a modern art masterpiece. Ryan stared down at the mess, then back up at Todd. "Well," he said, "I always wanted to look like a walking oat milk ad." Todd, in a panic, grabbed a nearby towel but knocked over an entire stack of espresso cups in the process. The cups tumbled down in what felt like slow motion, smashing onto the counter and sending a cascade of coffee grounds everywhere. It looked like a scene from a disaster movie, except instead of meteors, it was ceramic shards and caffeine. At this point, the other customers had stopped what they were doing, their attention completely locked on the unfolding spectacle. The cappuccino catastrophe. Determined to fix his mistake, Todd frantically grabbed another cup, poured fresh coffee, and tried again. But fate had other plans. The espresso machine, which had clearly had enough, let out a concerning hiss and exploded a jet of hot steam directly at Todd. Startled, Todd flinched and launched the cup of coffee straight into the air. Ryan, in an act of pure superhero instinct, tried to catch it. The cup did land in his hands briefly, but the momentum sent the scalding coffee splashing all over his forearm. He let out a yelp, flailing his arm, which in turn sent the coffee cup flying across the shop like a caffeine-fueled comet. The cup's trajectory ended with a splat, right onto a very confused elderly woman's lap. "Oh my God, I am so sorry," Ryan gasped. The woman, unfazed, looked at him, then at her now coffee-stained pants and simply said, "Well, at least it's not pumpkin spice." The grand escape. By now, the entire cafe was in shambles. Milk on the counter, coffee everywhere, a shattered pile of cups. Todd was hyperventilating. The barista was questioning his life choices. And Ryan? He just stood there, covered in oat milk and regret. The cafe manager stormed out from the back, took one look at the disaster zone, and in a tone of pure defeat said, "Ryan, for the love of all things caffeinated, please just get a black coffee next time." Ryan sighed. "You know what? Maybe I should just stick to gin." He turned on his heel and walked toward the exit, but not before slipping slightly on the oat milk puddle, catching himself just in time to avoid a full wipeout. As he left, the elderly woman called out, "You still owe me a coffee, Deadpool." Ryan waved over his shoulder. "Put it on my tab." And just like that, he exited the shop, leaving behind a crime scene of spilled espresso and crushed dreams. Epilogue, the aftermath. Later that day, Ryan took to Twitter. "Today I learned two things. 1. Coffee shops should come with seatbelts. 2. I may never be allowed back in Perfection again. Rip my white shirt." Within minutes, the tweet had gone viral. The coffee shop released a statement. "We love you, Ryan, but maybe just order online next time." And thus the legend of the Great Coffee Catastrophe was born.